Your brain treats admitting you're wrong as a social threat, not an intellectual one. I knew the exact moment I was wrong. The recognition arrived cleanly, almost quiet. That wasn't the problem. The problem was what followed it. The room stayed the same. The data didn't move. Only my body reacted, tightening first, like it had detected danger before my mind could label it. My breath shortened, my shoulders adjusted, attention narrowed without permission. In the lab, admitting error was encouraged, on paper, in policy, in training documents that celebrated learning. In practice, it felt like stepping out of alignment with something invisible that had been holding me upright. The sensation wasn't shame yet, it was exposure, a sense that something supporting me had loosened. Being wrong isn't painful because of the mistake, it's painful because of what collapses around it: status, competence, belonging, continuity. The brain registers those losses instantly, long before language catches up. Once that cost is detected, the system stops asking whether the mistake matters. It asks whether survival does.
Number 10. A researcher stares at a result that contradicts his hypothesis. The cursor hovers. His eyes drift back to an earlier data point instead. His breath stays shallow as focus tightens. This is error avoidance bias. Signals that threaten correctness are deprioritized. Recognition of error activates threat responses. Cause leads to effect. Attention narrows toward information that preserves prior investment and shields identity. And urgency quietly drains away. The contradictory result stops feeling important. The paper is never submitted. The correction never leaves the draft.
Number 9. In a meeting room, feedback lands evenly. A person nods slowly, clinging to the single comment that still sounds approving. The rest fades as it arrives. This is selective validation focus. Feedback is filtered to protect self-image. Supportive cues amplify. Corrective cues mute. Cause produces effect. Validation remains louder than error. That's the imbalance. What confirms you stays clear. What challenges you dissolves before it settles. Number 8. A man drafts an apology email. Halfway through, he deletes the sentence admitting fault. His shoulders drop as tension releases. The cursor blinks. This is relief-based avoidance. Relief reinforces non-admission. Avoiding admission reduces discomfort now. Cause leads to effect. Silence is learned as safety. And the relief feels earned. The email is never sent. The misunderstanding remains, waiting to repeat. Number 7. In a conversation where responsibility could be claimed, silence fills the gap. Nods are exchanged. The moment passes. This is social relief conditioning. Harmony is rewarded over honesty. When nothing bad happens after avoidance, the brain records safety. Cause produces effect. Peace trains silence. That's the social lesson. Calm arrives early. The cost arrives later. Number 6. A person reframes a mistake as miscommunication. Tone measured. Posture upright. Moral ground reclaimed with language. This is moral rationalization. Error becomes interpretation. Reframing preserves dignity while sidestepping admission. Cause leads to effect. Morality bends to protect self-respect. And it feels fair. Responsibility thins. Correction becomes optional. Number 5. A leader explains a failed outcome as necessary risk. Voice steady, hands open. The room accepts it. This is responsibility diffusion. Blame spreads across context. Shared responsibility lowers personal cost. Cause produces effect. Authority remains without correction.
That's the dilution. Power absorbs error until no one carries it alone. Orientation trigger. Which stage are you at right now? Number 4. A signed document rests on the table. Beside it, an unopened correction draft waits. The ink is dry. This is commitment locking. Decisions harden to avoid reversal cost. Reopening threatens psychological loss. Cause leads to effect. Correction begins to feel impossible. And the line is crossed. From this point on, being right matters more than being accurate. The ink does not fade. The draft stays closed. The decision stands. Number 3. At a family table, a past choice is defended calmly. Others listen without challenge. This is identity defense. Correctness fuses with self-image. Contradiction feels personal. Cause produces effect. Admission threatens belonging. That's the weight. Voices stay calm. Defense holds. Admission never arrives. Number 2. In an online exchange, a correction appears. It's ignored. Agreement arrives elsewhere. Posture straightens. This is identity shielding. Validation is chosen over accuracy. Affirmation stabilizes the self. Cause leads to effect. Correction disappears without engagement. That's the filter. The notification fades. The error remains untouched. Number 1. In silence, the original belief replays. The contradiction softens. Breathing slows. This is ego-preserving consolidation. Stability replaces review. Non-admission integrates as normal. Cause produces effect. Certainty returns without correction. And the bend completes. Nothing was corrected. Everything feels stable again. Avoided admissions leave residue. Not as lies, but as confidence. You don't feel dishonest, you feel consistent. Admitting you were wrong doesn't just change a fact, it threatens structure, identity, and belonging. Most people don't avoid being wrong, they avoid the cost of admitting it. That cost is rarely logical. It's social, it's structural, it's identity. That's why the truth doesn't disappear, it just becomes too expensive to touch.